What is up? Workbringer here, and today we're going to be checking out a Necrotic Wake plus 12, and it is Fortified, Quaking, Sanguine. At least that's what I think it is. Anyway, this route that I'm going to show you here is bad. It is bad, sadly, and even with a group of absolute pumpers, which we have here, and it's just a really bad route. And this becomes clearer and clearer as you go into higher and higher keys. Like a 12 fortified, the trash is pretty rough. So it's made to the point where like I have actually altered this route completely, and I'll show you what that is, or I'll talk about what that difference is and why when you see the very bad part that I've done here. So standing in a bit of Sanguine, but everything's going fine so far. Kind of chain these pulls together. Didn't want to like outright double pull them. Probably could have, given that we have Soul Chicken in the house essentially. That Corpse Harvester is just getting some Sanguine buff right there. There we go. There's the Foon. Yeah. Basically with him, he doesn't move on his own unless he's doing that. Then you can move him. But yeah, Fortified 12, these things live for quite a while. So there definitely is the thought to pull them all at once. That's probably the move. I haven't done that yet. I do see that on the higher keys. Like, it feels really sketch. I could have pulled any of these gatekeepers like with a bouncy shield. But on the higher keys, I do see, like, in general, people will pull like 3 packs together and just blow all cooldowns and then hopefully have them back by the boss. I don't know. I still don't feel like doing that here. I could do that at Halls of Atonement and Spires maybe. But it does require like kick assignments, and we don't have those, so, and we're not in voice comms, so I just don't like doing it. Because if you pull 3 packs together, right, like no big deal, right? We burn them all down. I'll survive it. No healer cooldown goes out. But without being like, okay, I will kick the Corpse Harvester, you'll kick the big boy, you know, like that kind of stuff. Without those assignments, I don't really feel comfortable doing that. So another thing, as I'm very slowly marking that, but that's okay because we have a Quaking to kind of chill everyone out. Marking the 2 Corpse Harvesters. In general, what that should mean is that I'll kick Skull and someone else kicks X, but you need voice comms or something like that. And Skull is technically like what you usually tell a rogue to kick. It depends on how you're playing. And again, it's per group, so we just don't know. We're cleaning these up here. They do live for a while. I have burned Guardians, but I haven't had a Divine Shield yet, which is good. That might be coming, though. We'll see. No, they're going down. Ooh, me dead. I did this run a while ago, so I don't remember. I don't really remember what happened. I probably could have just rezzed and walked. I don't know why I waited for the B-res, but I did. I definitely could have just released and ran back over. So yeah, I'm using Divine Shield to like recover, I think is what's happening here. I should have obviously proactively used it. Just underestimated how much damage comes out on a Fortified 12 trash pack. It's pretty rough. Pretty rough. So obviously it's Fortified, but if it isn't apparent that the trash is like the battle. The trash is so hard, and then the bosses, well, they kind of go pop. They kind of go poppity pop. Like, look at this. We've been, like, fighting this mob for, like, 10 minutes, it feels like. He's still alive now. Letting the meat shield go off, that's part of it. That's a fast cast, you know? But whatever. We're making our way downtown to the Fallen Goliath. I think someone else is doing it. I think there's either I'm doing it or someone else is doing it, or I don't know. Did I pull it off? Did someone else pull it off? I'm not sure. I need that soldier. You can judgment pull it, even if it's basically in the middle of that other pack, as long as no one else touches it. No touchy. No one touch anything. Single judge pull. Can always extract that. This part of the route is very good. This part is fine. People, especially like this little wait here that I've slimmed up the wait time here. I'm basically always fighting something when I go to get my Kyrian balls. And yeah, this is a sketch place to tank this. This is truly sketch. But I'm waiting for that thing to die. I was going to try to bait the ad to die on the stairs, but I don't know, I got freaked out. And Anyway, I've bugged the boss out before where he got stuck in the stairs and we couldn't attack him for like 10 seconds. So I don't want that to happen with Pride, obviously. So we have our first Pride. On a 12, they start to get kind of juicy. They start to, they start to require a decent amount of attention. So again, single pull, it was off cooldown. I should have waited. Anyway, we're going to tank him all the way in the back. We do pop Ardens for this first crunch. No big deal. And the first Heaving Wretch is going to go to, I don't know, a lot of people got hit, but I dispel the Priest because they are soft. They are the squish. They will die faster versus this. Whoever else is in whoever the guy at the bottom is, he's fine. The Hunter, maybe he's like turtling, I don't know. But the Priest, they die to stuff like that. So, you know, I'm just trying to get this dude back and try to bait this. So what I've done is I've given them room behind him, which we're not communicating this, to bait the Heaving Wretch behind us is the hope, right? So, oh yeah, he does. So perfect, right? So it's going behind us, right? Cool. We don't need to go back there. No big deal. And we kill the worms back there, and then we could keep going forward. But we're gonna kill the boss pretty soon. The Hunter is getting eaten by the worms, most likely. And I'm prioritizing just keeping the boss in a nice place, and he is dead. Dead. Lust plus Pride on a 13. I'm sorry, on a 12. Fortified, no big deal. Tyrannical, we'd still be there. We'd probably have a couple more phases of that. So this pull is always sad for me. Like, you really can't position them to, like, they basically always stay there. I always think I can like pull them out, but you can't. That's Balanced Druid with the old AoE stun, AoE silence. GG's, very clean. I should practice on a lower key, but the thing is, like, I want to start pulling bigger, but you can't really practice big pulls on on low keys, because people freak out, and they just don't think that way. I think on low keys, unless you know it's like a 1k group running low keys or something like that, they're not going to expect the triple pull, and they're just not going to go right. So, unfortunately, the only way you can do that is to like know the group you're with is like wanting you to. Essentially, when the groups get into like the 1k, or like I've run with a couple 1200 people, right? Like they do all 15s. The DPS are just sitting there waiting for you to triple pull, and they want that, and so does the healer. They've got it, but it's kind of hard to know that. And what I've had happen is sometimes like the healer will be like, pull as big as you want, and I'm like, I'm gonna need to hear that from a fire mage, please, or someone. Like, I need to hear it from kind of like whoever's gonna burst it down, and then who's gonna heal me. And I don't know. It needs some coordination until I get more comfortable YOLOing it and doing some of the higher groups. I think in halls, the first triple pull is kind of like expected, and same with spires. You want to pull like almost first 3 packs together, and it's expected. You know, fire mage is like, yep, combust, and the druid's like, yep, I embark on pull, and then like I take over probably into divine shield, get that off cooldown, and into guardians, and you just get it just has to all line up perfectly, or we die, and then it feels stupid. So hard to say. That dot that we get there, I forget what it's called, hurts an awful lot on a fortified 12, let me tell you. It hurts a lot. And there's a 2 mob pack that I think they pretty much just delete me. It's 2 of them just dropping those dots on me. That's a lot. That's a heavy dot damage. So let's talk about this. Okay, so a little sketch. I hope that I'm not going to pull the pack behind him, but we're getting him down, right? We're getting him down. So that gets focused. And so what I do next is I'm looking to line up Pride on the boss, right? Even at a fortified week, I still don't want the second boss to go too long. That's the boss that on Tyrannical ends the key. That's just it right there. If you get Pride on that, you blow Lust on the second boss, and you don't kill it, it's pretty GG on a Tyrannical. It's over. You lost time, and you have no cooldown. It's not gonna work. So, what I'm doing is lining that up here. I think we're about to all take the damage now. So we're going to skip this pack and go right to this pack. This is a terrible idea. This is a not good idea. Now I'm popping the Anima Ball. You've probably seen me do this on lower keys. And on lower keys, not a big deal. Even maybe a 12 Tyrannical, not a big deal. 12 Fortified, this is a mistake, because we're going to get Pride here, and this boss is tough. This little ad here, and I don't want them to run into the group back there. This one caster here is probably as hard as the second boss, to be in a sense. Plus I get pride for it. So again, on a 10, a tyrannical, right? Nothing. And I think that's like how I'm doing this, or even an 11, like whatever. It's not a big deal. However, this is a terrible idea for this place. It's real bad. I'm pretty sure I'm about to die. I don't remember. Anyway, this is way too much work for everybody. Way too much work. And who are we going to get down first? Are we dead? Are we dead to this pride being at 15 stacks already? I don't remember. Anyway, this is too hard. So what we do now, and unfortunately the priest was like kind of hinting that like about like another route for this. What you should do, in my opinion now, and what I did in 11 directly after this, is you need to skip you kill the pack before this. You get pride on them, they're very easy, and then you skip this. And you can obviously do it with a rogue shroud, but you can also do it with a priest mind soothe. And directly after this run, which I have recorded, I don't know if I'm gonna show it because it's an 11, so maybe I'll do it on a 13 and I'll show it. That was way too much work. Way too much work to do that. So from now on, what I do is I skip that pack, but I wanted to just show this and illustrate it, why that pack is so rough on a hierarchy fortified. It's a beast, right? Luckily the skeleton patrol is running away at a place that I can be pretty confidently back here. But that is way too much work, killing that ad, and then to get pride after, it's too much. It's just way too much. So I don't do that anymore. Trying to pull him out of the sanguine, but I just wanted to show how tough that can be, and this is with like pretty good DPS. I think a lot of people thought I was gonna skip it because like that is the move. Let me tell you, that is the move on Fortify. That's the move in general. You skip that. Either I basically bring enough InvisPots that I can give people them. Druids, I think I died of these dots plus that. I'm probably dead. I think I'm dead. Yeah, goodbye. Oh, am I not dead? No, I'm dead. Yeah, so Fortified, that's a toughie. Those things hurt a lot, and there's more of them too, so I think I might die to them again. I die a lot. Anyway, I just wanted to show how bad an idea that is on Fortified to take that. Not good at all. What's pretty cool is our Resto Druid is like really prepared to jump into bear form and off tank, which is awesome. Oh, I think I just looked at it was the Druid doing 15s, plus 15s. Yeah. So yeah, oh no, it's the soul chicken is doing 15s. Yeah, I mean they have big DPS when they do the big cooldowns, right? Big. Ouch. We almost died again. Maybe we're a little flustered here. Anyway, this route now, we skip the patrol there, and we just kill these. In the other route, when you skip the big caster pack, you actually pull this patrol, because that patrol is really easy. And so that's the difference now, is that I skip that named caster, because you saw how hard it is. These are deceptively ouch. So what needs to happen is I need to stun them. Right? And I stun that bone flay needs to be interrupted or I die. Too much of those bone flays and it's good night. So yeah, so that one, ow. It's when they stack, it just starts to get like unhealable. So for me, I just kind of have to save a cooldown for, or save a Hodge for it, and maybe call out for it. See, in that case, they died and I'm only sitting in one, but it's very easy to have 4 if they just completely go interrupted. So it's something that you only really know how bad of a dot that is until the hierarchy is when you just die from it, like standing there. Anyway, so this route has been fine. I mean, there's been a lot of deaths so far, but it's okay. But I just wanted to really show why that's such a hard pack, even with like a great group and everything. It's just too much damage, and you get pride on it, which is really bad. I should be stunning and interrupting a little bit more. I opt to off heal at the same time. We're about to get him down though, so not too bad. But there's a lot of damage here, and directly into pride. So even with my other route, what you basically do is you pull the first patrol that I skipped, and then you skip the named caster, and then you do the exact same path except you pull the other patrol there and all this trash, and you get Pride here again, which I just always want Pride for this boss. Having died to it so many times last week on Tyrannical, am I about to... Yeah. I just always get this now. And that's the only difference to the route. I'll definitely commentate the rest of it. I just wanted to show how just unnecessarily hard that part is. And something that we can do here, I'll talk about after. So one of the big things here, well, we'll talk about without getting ahead, is that you tank, we'll go for this boss. If you tank this boss in the corner, let's see if I do it right. If you tank him here, where the ads spawn is pretty predictable. You see how they're not too far away? That's the farthest one. That was it. They're like, they all stay in this corner. So even though they're not perfectly put together, they are in a predictable place. At least for me, like I kind of know where they're going to spawn because we kind of boxed ourselves in here. And now when he does the frontal, I go and get the ball, right? Because the way that you do this pull or this route is that you get Pride, right? So you're not going and getting the ball while there's Pride going. There's a bit of a heal, right? So you get it during the first frontal. And I've been doing, well, I do the route now that I talk about where we skip it with a rogue or an InvisPot or a Minds with a priest. And it's been lovely. I like slayed in 11 doing it that way. And this is the point where like you pretty much don't even have to touch the ads, other than I don't want them to kill people damage wise, but I mean obviously, but no, we still had to kill the ads to get the boss down, but it's almost like we ignored it. And then I'm like, oh, nope, turn around. What, there we go. There we go. Yeah. The druid knew. The druid was telling me, he's like, I told him in the beginning, I was like, remember not to go up, and then I almost went up. Anyway, here, I hope this is the run where I've learned my lesson. You wait a long time for that monstrosity to leave, because obviously it destroys count, and it's honestly a full wipe, no matter how good your group is, if you pull them. So I'm like, have a extra full chill, because if we pull that, we might as well just be dying. We will just die. So I do skull the Bone Mender, and it looks like I get him in there. Okay. Oh wow, the frontal on the priest just ended that priest. Wow. Anyway, oh, do I not? Oh, okay, I did get the scream, the fear. Bone Mend's gonna go off. No good. And this is where I'm realizing for this, you gotta use the Enema Ball, because the boss just dies. I definitely could have used the Enema Ball on the boss, but I should have used it here. So that's the real play, and I think I do that on my 11, where I do the route much better. No, do I not even use the Enema Ball? Man, I'm not thinking here. It's like, man, I wish these ads would die faster, and I had some like, and I died. I died with the Enema Ball. Big rip. If I had just pulled with the Enema Ball, we definitely would have done that much better. So these are the things you learn in retrospect. Let me tell you that I was actually pretty sad after this run, though, spoiler alert, we time it. Is that going to res me? I think they are. They're just dying to dots over there. We time this, and no one's in a bad mood. We're actually about to do some absolute magic in this place. Exemplary execution. However, it's bad route, bad strategy. We still pull it off, but it was bad strategy. So I went and actually spent like 15 to 20 minutes redoing the route after this, and then I went and did the route that I liked on an 11, and we did it perfectly. And then on retrospect here, I didn't use the Enema Ball on that 5-pack, which is arguably one of the hardest pulls in the game. In the route on Fortified, if I just popped the Enema Ball. So I literally just wasted it, and I could have just killed everything and, save myself a wipe, right? Save myself, not a wipe, but save myself me not dying. But I didn't do that. But anyway, I have a much better route now anyway, and on 14s, I guess the 13 is the next one I'll push here. 13 Fortified. On 13 Tyrannical, the ball and the spear is for the boss. I guess that's obvious. But for Fortified, it's probably for that last trash pack that we pick up is pretty nasty until you get up here, because these packs as a tank, oh my god. Even on it's not Necrotic, but it's Fortified. These stitch works, oh my god. But look at the strats here. It's all the healer. I need a hero because once my stacks get too high, I'm dead. Tenderize stacks, I'm just dead as a dead. You can't really kite it. It's like almost impossible to kite it. And what happens is if you kite it and you do it wrong, he hits you in the back. And it's even worse. So you're like at 4 stacks, and you're like, I'm gonna kite the 5th. You don't quite get it, and then he just kills you because he hits you in the back, and you already have 4 stacks to Tenderize. Yeah, it's pretty rough. So I want to kill the raid party one first, right? Maybe. I'm starting to have thoughts on who the priority target truly is on Fortified Week. So we killed the Gore Splatter guy because that's raid damage, and it's pretty bad raid damage. And however, I think we might be going to kill this guy instead. So I'm dead. I'm like super dead until my healer saves me, turns into a bear, and taunts right at the stack number that would have killed me. So they know, they're tracking it. So that's basically what you need. You either uber focus down that stitch work so it dies before you get to 5 stacks, or on the 5th stack someone taunts for you that can handle it. Resto Druid, if they switch to bear form, and especially if they're like bear affinity, and I think that they can have Iron Fur. I forget what kind of cooldowns they have, but I did this with a Ret Paladin on the 11 where we did the route the right way, like after this, and I told the Ret Paladin to taunt like right as I had 4, and he almost died instantly. And so it's not just plate wearers, it has to be someone that's like pretty chunky too. And honestly, I think the Resto Druid in bear form is more tanky than a Ret Paladin just like normally. But this Druid also might be like kind of high level. I don't know if they use like I forget the talent. There's a talent where like your off spec gets like wild something. Like there's a talent and a spell where basically a druid will get like a super version of their affinity. So if there was bear affinity, which I don't think people do bear affinity for Resto. It's usually feral for DPS or Moonkin for Typhoon. But yeah, they're pretty tanky. So we get our pride here, and that's the OP strat, is that the healer, because the healer is tracking my stacks. No one else is tracking how many Tenderize stacks I have, I imagine. I don't think they know when it's 5, and they know when I'm gonna die or not. So this is again slightly higher IO tactics, because it's like, well, do you like watching the tank die every single time? I imagine this healer has run this place quite a bit and watched many a tank die to Tenderize, and they're like, huh, what if I switched to bear form and tanked it for them? Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So we still have 20 seconds or so of pride, and let's get it done. Now, I'm telling people to focus the Corpse Collector again, but really what we could do is focus the stitch work down and just have a kick rotation for the Corpse Collector, because otherwise it doesn't do that much damage. But if it does go out, it's everyone dying versus just me dying, and we have 2 battle reses here, so you know, it's probably better if I die. That is the life of a tank. So this stitch work's doing work to me at the moment. Workbringer is trying to leave. Workbringer is not going to successfully leave, I don't think. I think someone's going to taunt for me. There it goes. Healer goes into bear mode. I'm about to drop the old stacks. That's a 50%. There we go. Yeah, he can't tank it for too long. But thank you, healer. This is the play. This is the play. I probably didn't even need to run away. I just wasn't sure if it was going to happen again, but my hero, the Resto Shaman bear form, is my hero. I tell them to point them at each other. If they do not, I don't believe. We'll see. It's a tricky thing to get right. You don't have a ton of time. Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. One of them might have done it. I think one of them did it, and the hunter got eaten though. But that's fine, right? It doesn't like one-shot you. Fixate I'll kill you though. That one, they're gone though. Who they going after? I'm not sure. I used to bop the person that got fixated, but it's kind of a waste because you either get hit or you don't. Like, yeah, I'm not really preventing anything if they get away, so I've just been holding bop for mostly necrotic stack dropping. I only bop people these days if it's like kind of one of those squirrely pulls, and like clearly the Ret Paladin or Unholy DK has popped everything, I'll just bop them so they drop aggro. Oh boy, who got killed there? That was the Hunter got the Cleaver. Yeah, ooh, and so did the Priest. Yeah, you're really at this key when fortified. I remember this. You really want to try to get the throw Cleaver thing at the other ad if possible, or save a defensive, or even put it at me, to be honest. So we'll have to coordinate that, the higher keys. I remember the Hunter, he flew back, he's like, this is cancer. He's like, this game. But it's only 12 too. Imagine a 15. Which I can imagine a 15 now for sure. I still haven't pulled a 14. I think I can. It's obviously very dependent on the group, but I'm pretty sure I could finish a 14 of Halls or what's it called? Mists. I don't think it's too bad. I would love, of course, a Balanced Druid with trees and a Ellie Shaman with what's it called, with the elemental, right? So it's like, I'm dying. There we go. Oh, I would have been dead, right? I would have been dead. And I think I bought. What I should do is, well, no, I guess you can't bop him, but I hand of sacrificed him, right? So I take 30% of his damage away, and I take some part of it. But without that Resto Druid doing that play, I die. There's nothing to do. You can kind of try to kite it, but it's really sketchy. See, like in this case, if it was like a melee going full ham, I would have tried to bop, because that's a squirrely pull, right? As good as I can be at this, Rot Spew comes out first, and then a little bit later the Rot Spew leftovers come out, and sometimes it's just squirrely and they just immediately jump, and sometimes the global cooldowns are just not lined up that I can immediately Divine Toll them or something like that. In that case, if someone has dropped like an Omega cooldown, then I will try to bop them. So I'm trying to saving it for like these disaster pulls, right? Disaster recovery. So despite, I think I started this off kind of negatively, because I was kind of embarrassed about this route, because they told me beforehand, the priest was like, you know, we can mine through the pack before the bridge. And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, and I shared my route. They were like, okay, don't worry about it. And then I just did my route. And it was kind of a disaster, you know, because, you know, like I just didn't like how it went. So I was really embarrassed after this run. I just left the group immediately. I think they wanted to run like to other side 13 after this or something like that. And I was like, I gotta go. I didn't say this, but I was like, I need to go and redeem myself with this Necrotic Wake run. I need to redesign it, and I did, and it's much, much better now. But that being said, there were some big plays here, mostly from the Resto Druid, who has no mana, but mostly from the Resto Druid doing the off-tanking for the 5th stack of Mutilate. I'm a dead boy without that, and I can basically clear one Mutilate stack with what's it called, Divine Shield, and I suppose I should do that, but I was saved by a bear multiple times. So you want to see a magic trick? I do nothing, right? This is what I want to like tell other tanks if you're having issues. I tank this the same way no matter what, and it's up to the DPS to do the magic tricks. Ready? Here's a magic trick. Pride, Time Warp, Surgeon Stitch Flesh, look at the health disappear. What in the world was that? What did I just witness? That looks broken. We killed that boss so fast, and we're all about to eat quaking in the air. Great affects. We killed that so fast. We had pride for that boss and this boss. What? I didn't think that was possible. It's obviously Soul Chicken, who must be like 220, right? Like we've saw his IO flash up a couple times, like does big IO things, and that Soul Chicken is over here carrying us through this. And it's kind of why I was embarrassed that the route was so wonky. I was like, oh, I just did this terrible route. But let me tell you, you don't normally get this on a normal run, but we can say, can we not, that we had pride on all bosses. Ooh. Without having to get fancy, because you can, like, I think DKs can take an ad as a pet and bring him up here and kill him, but I'm not so sure you get pride on, what's it called? That you don't get pride on the surgeon. So this is the only way to get Pride on all 5 bosses, which is, it's a little bit clickbait, not exactly, but it is. We had the Pride buff. We didn't have a Pride, a manifestation of Pride for everyone, but, you know, that is, that's a first for me. Even at like Mythic, we don't, Mythic 0 or something like that, we don't clear that boss that quickly. That was absurd. That was absolutely absurd. I didn't, I was in shock on the fly up. I was just like, okay. Right. But at the same time, I could just tell how like strong this group was. I was even sadder that I dragged us through this garbage route. So this is both a celebration of the fact that the DPS just destroyed this dungeon. And also this was the tipping point that sent me back to Mythic Dungeon Tools for half an hour or whatever, and just reconfigured a new route for this. And so I'll show that in, I don't think I'm going to show the 11, but I'll do like either another 12 or a 13 or a 14 or something like that. And I'll show you the priest or rogue skip and or invis skip. It's also the route that I think Quasi does, but I actually have a hard time following other tanks' routes from YouTube. I have to do them myself, and I have to be the one clicking the Mythic Dungeon Tools route, or it doesn't stick in my head. There's like certain things I can pick up, like small details that other tanks do, and they're usually more finesse pulley things, or like, you know, who's the best target to CC, that sort of stuff. But the overall route, I really have a hard time looking at someone else's. It's very much about, I have my process. I go in Mythic Dungeon Tools, I draw it, and then I do it. And then I draw it, and then I do it. And if I don't like it, I go back and I redraw it, and then I redo it. And until I do that, I don't know it, right? And so if you've been following the channel, or you watch like all the other videos that I've done, or some of them, that's what this process is. And then also within that process is to record it and review it, which I figured I would just commentate over for myself, and then also for others that are Prot Paladins and just want to see an explicitly done run. It's like, can a Prot Paladin do blah, blah, blah. You know, I hope to push that all the way to the 20s. I think that's going to happen. I really don't. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I think it's going to be possible. Anyway, that's Pride on all the bosses, but it's not my favorite route. I have a much better one that you could still get Pride on all the bosses. And of course, to do that, you have to uber one phase the 3rd boss, which means you have to bring the Soul Chicken. Nerf Boomkins. Just kidding. We're not nerfing. We're only buffing everyone else. I'll see you on the next video.